Welcome to the PowerITV Training video. In today's session, you will learn how to create an evaluation, add photos to your evaluation, add multiple structures, then print and email your reports. First thing we want to do is point our web browser to PowerITV.com. When you get there, you're going to log in with your username and password. Click Login, and this will take you to the main screen. As you can see here, you can start a new evaluation, you can open a previous evaluation, save a template, you can set your account admin preferences, and there is also a help menu. We have several categories of building types. You can do agricultural, commercial, general, public buildings, and residential structures. Anywhere that you see the plus, you just click on the plus to open up a list of more buildings. In the commercial structures, we have subcategories within the main category. Again, you would just click on the plus to decide what you would like to pick. In our example today, I'm going to start with a single-family residence. So I'm going to highlight that. It shows me my picture of my single family. Gives me a little bitty description here. And then it's going to want you to set an evaluation name. And then click Begin Evaluation. This will open up for you to start the evaluation on a single family residence. Here you'll see it starts with the building description, which gives you more information on the building itself. You also have next buttons at the top and bottom. You can navigate using the next buttons, or you can use the navigation to the left. You also have an area that once you set your information will show you your total area in square feet, your replacement cost per square foot, the total replacement cost for the entire structure, any depreciation that you put in, and then your actual cash value. In the list to the left here, you'll notice that you have blue icons and you have some yellow icons. The yellow, anytime you see that in any structure, that is going to mean that those things are required to be filled out in order to get an evaluation with a price. Anything that is in blue are optional, but the more you fill out, the more accurate your price will be. So we're going to start with owner and address. You just type in your information for your owner. You can also set their policy number. And then if the property is actually located at the owner's address, you can click the Same as Owner button. If not, you can type in the address where the property is located. In our example, I'm going to use Same as Owner. Go on to the next. We're going to go to General Information. As you see, you do have required values here, and you also have optional values. Again, if you want to fill those out on the optional, you can, but it is not required, only these top three. So we're going to start with the insured amount, and we're going to say it's $150,000. Select our building type, we'll say 6 corners. We're going to enter the area in square feet. That is not including attics, basements, or garages, just the square foot of the living space. Then we're going to select the exterior wall type, whether it be frame or masonry. So I'm going to choose masonry. Then again, if you want to put in these optional values, you just basically follow what it's asking for and add those to it. And we're going to go on to classification because that is our next requirement. Starts out on giving you basically foundation, floor structure, roof, floor finish, kitchen detail, plumbing, and more. You can set all of these by using the best, good, high, low, average, low, or minimum. So for our purposes right now, I'm going to set good on all. Then it will come up and tell you a basic description of what you're getting in each one of these sections. So as our foundation, use reinforced concrete. Our floor finish is marble or granite, hardwood, good carpet, so on and so forth. As you read these descriptions, if something needs to be set to something lower or something better, maybe the roof is not as good as the interior of the home, you can come over here and set it to, high, average, low, so you can change these. You don't have to leave them all set as good. You can pick and choose or set them all. Doesn't matter. Once we have gotten everything we want it set here, our next section is the regional cost adjustment. Since I put in the owner's address, it automatically looked at my zip code and saw that it was the Pensacola, Florida area, so it gives me an adjustment rate of negative 8.34% on the total price. If you notice too, we now have an 1,800 square foot structure. We have our price per square foot and our replacement cost, and that is taking into account for that negative 8.34%. Now you can enter your own value here if you don't like that. You can click the button and put in negative 10 or plus 10, plus 5, whatever you want to put in that box. Next, we're going to go down. We have an attic space. So if you have an attic, it gives you 3 different choices on the attic type. We're just going to stick with A, and we're going to say it's of lesser quality finish, and say our attic is only 150 square feet. So when I click to outside stairway, you now notice our price has changed again. You'll continue down on each one of these as you need to. If there's some you don't need, you can skip over. So I don't want to put a balcony or a basement, but I've got a garage. So I click on garages, set my classification. Again, whatever you think is the right one, whether it's best, good, average, we'll just say good. And then it wants to know the finished square feet. So we'll say 1,200 square feet. And if we click off somewhere else again, our price has changed again. And you would continue down for each one of these that you would need to put information in. So let's skip over to appliances. Let's say this has a drop-in range. We'll say it has a side-by-side refrigerator, 1 dishwasher, and 1 garbage disposal. We don't have fireplaces in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do my total. Comes up and shows me now that my total area in square feet is the 1,950. I've got a price per square foot, and I've got my replacement cost. You can also, if you do not want to use the values that PowerITV provided, you can click the manually adjust your total and put in any price there in the square footage that you want. There's also a section for additional items. So let's say maybe this house has a swimming pool. This is one of those, and let's say the unit cost was $28,000. The unit, of course, is going to be in each, but you can use square feet, linear feet, squares, whatever you need to there. We click the add to cost, and it automatically added that pool to our information here. Our next section is depreciation. Here you can either enter your own dollar amount by clicking there and telling it how much depreciation you'd like to take off, or you can have the system suggest a percentage based on the year of the house. So let's say the house is 3 years old, suggest a percentage, we get a 1.5, so it's going to remove $8,454 in depreciation. You will also notice that in the totals here. We're going to add some photos. So we can click on the photo section and click our add photo button. Comes up with a photo ID. Most people use the file name, but you're welcome to put something in there that you would like. Then you're going to select your photos, and it does show you what type of images you can import here. So we're going to hit select. We're going to go to where our images are. And we're just going to grab a couple of pictures here and say open. When they turn green is when you know that you can now hit the Save Selected Photos so that they will be added into the PowerITV. Once your photos are in, you see that it does have the picture ID, has a date. You can also delete pictures here one by one, or you can check the box and click all delete them. You can make sure that they're printed. If you check here, it'll put a check mark in there. If you want to edit that, you can do so as well. You can also edit each picture. So on this first picture, if I hit edit info, I can come in here and type in front of house. Now the date is always going to be whatever date is on your computer at the time, but you can change that by clicking the calendar and setting your date back. And then if you want to type comment, you can most certainly do that there too. and then there's a checkbox to show that you want that printed on the reports as well. Just hit Save Info, then it takes you back. You can do the same thing with the second picture. Just click on it, hit Edit Info, and save it. And now your description will show up as well. So basically, this report is done. Our single-family residence, we've already completed. It's given us a price minus our depreciation, giving us the actual cash value. If you're done, you can go strictly to your reports. However, if you want to add another structure, maybe they live on a farm and have a barn, or they maybe have a detached garage, you can click the other structures. You'll be taken to this box of other structures where you can add a new structure. You can also make groups. So if you have 5 or 6 barns or machine sheds, buildings, you can also add those as a group. I'm going to go ahead and show you how just to add a new one. So we're just going to hit Add New. We're going to pick a structure name, and we're going to say we have a general barn. We're going to come down here in our list, and you can scroll down and pick any structure you need to, but we're going to pick this general purpose barn. Say OK. Takes us right to the evaluation, gives us our little building description. Again, you'll see you have yellow, so those are things that are absolutely required. So we're going to hit General Information. It wants to know the insurance amount, say $15,000. We can also assign it a classification here. So we'll say G1. Then you can select the total either by entering the square feet or the length and width of the building. So we'll say our barn is 1,000 square feet. It does have a sidewall height of 10. If yours is larger, you can definitely change that. Again, you do have your optional values. If you would like to put those in, you can do that here. Then we skip to our classification. Just like on the single family, you can pick good, average, low for all of them or change each one separately. Let's go ahead and put good. We go to our regional cost adjustment. Again, it's going to take off that amount because I'm in Florida. You also have a section that you can add building additions, heating and cooling types, insulation. You can have doors. Let's skip on over doors. We'll add a door. There's lots of different types of doors here for your barn. We'll just say right now it has a sliding door. We'll have one of those, and let's say it's 12 by 9. And again, the eave height is at 10, but you can choose from multiple depending on your structure. So we've added our door. We'll go over here to bulk feed tanks if we need to fill that out. And you can do truck scales, livestock scales. If there's a septic tank or something in the building, you can do that as well. Water systems. Again, we're going to go to our totals. Again, you can adjust this one manually as well. Again, if we have additional items, you can add those here. We're going to set our depreciation. Say the barn is 1 year old, so suggest that. Takes off that percentage. And then we can add photos to this one as well, too. So we're going to go ahead and click our photos, hit Add Photo, hit Select, navigate to where your photos are, grab our pictures, say Open. They're green, so I can hit Save Selected, and our pictures will come in for our barn as well. And again, you can edit the info on those, or you can delete them, anything you want to do here. So once you have finished your main structure and your other structure, if you do have a third building you can do, we're going to hit Return to Main Structure. We can hit Add New again, and let's say we have, let's do a machine shed. So we hit that, and we also type in machine shed, so it has a name. We say OK. Comes up, gives us our brief description again, shows us our required values that we must put in. So we're going to click on General Information. Again, we're going to give it an insured amount. We're going to set a class. And our required values, you can do total square feet or, again, length and width. So I'll change this one to length and width. So let's say we have a 65-foot length and a 34-foot width. Then we choose the style, whether it's all sides open or one side open. So we're going to do that. And then our wall height here is, again, set at 10. We can change that to 16, and it will adjust the price based on that height as well. And of course, we do have our optional values again, if you need to fill any of those out. Then we go to our classification, just like it was before. We're going to set everything to good. Our regional cost adjustment, again, still set with Pensacola. Then you can add internal offices, you have building additions, the heating, cooling, insulation, same thing that we had before. So let's go in and say we want to set up some heating and cooling. So we have our first options. Basically, you have central heat and air, forced radiant floor heating. So if we choose that, we can say it's average. And then, of course, the square feet. If it's not the entire square feet of the building, we can say, it's just 100 square feet. And then the outlets are on the perimeter, overhead, or none. We can add insulation, again, doors, bulk feed tanks. Just continue on and click on each one of these that you would need to fill out for your building. We're going to go ahead and click on total here. Gives us our price per square foot and our replacement cost. We do have the additional items if those need to be added as well. If something is not in this list that you would like to add. Then we have depreciation. We'll say this is a year old as well. Gives me that depreciation. I can then come to my photos here, add my photos, select them, grab my pictures, open those, hit save selected, and it has added my photos. That is basically how to create a multiple building evaluation. Now, our next thing we'd like to do is take a look at our report. So if we hit return to main structure, on the list down here, you'll see report. We're going to click on it. This is going to come to the report settings screen. The report date is always going to be set to whatever date, again, is on your computer. You can change that by clicking the grid. You can set the inspection date. Let's say it was inspected on the 13th. You got your inspector's phone number. Then you have your building name. Starts out with a single family residence. You can put your own in there. So if we wanted to say this was located at, we wanted to name it that, we can do that. Make any comments that we want to put in. We can also include a cover sheet. If you'd like that, you'd want to check a box there. And then we also have a few options that you can do. If you want to show the base cost descriptions on your report, and those would be the ones that when you get into that classification and you have the flooring and the roof and you set those to either good, average, low, those descriptions will either show on your reports or not. If you want them to show, you would need to put a check in the base cost descriptions. You can also have the additional cost, which would be any of the things like heating, cooling, doors, bulk feed tanks, anything like there. If you want those cost descriptions to show, we would also put a check there. If you want to show depreciation and the actual cash value on your report, you would want to check that. And if you don't want to show the main, maybe you're just covering the barns, but you want it to show that single family is in there, you can either hide the main structure, which the main structure would be the very first structure you did an evaluation on. And if you want to hide them, you would check the box. And you can hide all your photos if you want it to. So once we have everything set here as we need it, we can come down and we can hit generate report to see what it looks like before we send it to someone. So once my report is generated, click on my PDF. It's going to come up and show your company logo that you set, your header information. You've got a property valuation on this date. You've got the property address, inspection date, who the inspector was, along with their phone number, and any comments that you made on the report screen, and then a signature for the inspector or evaluator. Come to our second page, which starts out our actual valuation. Again, you have your owner's an address, the office number, the property address, your structure information. So on our single family residence, shows us that we have the square feet, the exterior wall, the number of corners. Shows our base evaluation with our cost descriptions here and what each one of those are based on as far as pricing. Gives us a base replacement cost. Then shows our additional other costs, so our attic, our garage, our swimming pool, and appliances, to give us a total for those. Then we have our main total, our depreciation, our actual cash value. Does also show you the per square foot price and how much depreciation percentage is off of there. Then it gives us our insured amount and our insurance to value, which we also have the insurance needed by percentage of RCV. We do have our comments that we made. Then we have our photos of our single family structure. Then we come to our general barn. Same way, breaks everything down for you. Got our pictures. Then we have our machine shed. Also breaks everything down for you and shows you the insurance needed, gives you the insurance to value percentage, and our pictures there. Once everything is good, you can either attach this PDF to an email and send it, or you can go back into PowerITV and click email the report from here. I hope that you have learned something by watching the training video. If you need further information or have any quick questions about the program, please call our support staff at 1-800-736-1246, and you can hit extension 2. Again, that is 1-800-736-1246. Our hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.